Hello everybody, I'm Tim Blair, and it's time for the Clay County Times-Democrat weekly web update for the week of September 4th, 2013. Our weekly web updates are brought to you each week here on cctimesdemocrat.com by the good folks at Piggott State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and serving this community since 1930. Well, this week, things are kind of quiet, but we're here at the Clay County Fairgrounds on the north edge of Piggott as they prepare for the annual Clay County Fair, which will be getting underway in the coming week. The fair activities will be kicking off actually this Saturday, the 7th, tomorrow actually, as they will be having the 5 Clay Run for Fun. It is a walk run that will be held. They'll be meeting at the gate here at the fairgrounds about 8 o'clock in the morning for that. And expect some pretty good participation. Of course, we'll have all the details on that coming up in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, which would be the September 11th edition. Also coming up in the September 11th edition, we'll have the complete preview of all the activities that will be going on at the fair. I was out here a little bit earlier, and we can share some video with you. The Piggott Ag-Ride instructor and FFA advisor, Casey Simpson, had some of the FFA students out here, and Dr. Phil Daffron was out here taking care of a couple of heifers, getting them ready to show for the Clay County Fair. Showing will be next Thursday right here where I'm standing. I'm in the Ryan Pounds Memorial Show Barn here at the Clay County Fairgrounds, and if you haven't been around since last year, there is a new addition. They've added a new wing to the show barn here, and added about another third or so to the size of the show barn. One of the many improvements that the Fair Board has been working on. We've got the fairgrounds looking really good. There have been volunteers that have been working around getting it ready for the fair. Setup will be starting, I believe that's on Wednesday, but they'll be getting everything in here. Got a lot of activities going on, including a hot tractor pull Friday night over in the arena, mud drags, and more. You can get all the details in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, or you can pick up a copy of the fair book there around as well. Well, this past week, the Rector Labor Day picnic was held down in that community. Congratulations to Madison Kate. She was named the Miss Rector for 2013. Congratulations to her. And they had a great event. Basically, a little bit iffy in the early going, but the main day, Monday, the weather was perfectly cooperative, and they had a good event down there. And we've got the complete wrap-up in this week's edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. All the winners from everything, the pageants, the drawings, and all that. You can find all that information here in the September 4th edition, and also here on cctimesdemocrat.com. But we do encourage you to pick up a copy of the paper. You can check out all the winners of all the pageants and so forth in there. Well, I mentioned earlier that we took a look at some of the guys were down getting ready a couple of heifers for the show. Let's take a look at that now. Of course, many of the FFA members will also be showing at the regional fair at Jonesboro, the Northeast Arkansas Regional Fair. They also usually take part in the Buffalo Island Livestock Show down in that area. And of course, coming up next month, they'll be down in Little Rock for the State Fair. And that should be a lot of fun. We've got good participation from our young people here, and a lot of them will be showing animals. We've got over in the FFA barn, which is a permanent fixture here at the Clay County Fairgrounds. They've got some heifer calves, and they also got some pigs over there. And of course, they'll be on display. Now, behind me, of course, are the barns where many of the livestock and other animals will be on display during the fair. And again, you can find out all the information in the upcoming copy of the Clay County Times-Democrat. Also coming up in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, we will also be telling you about the Native American Day. That's coming up on Saturday the 14th, which is the final day of the fair. It's also Native American Day from noon till 3 p.m. at the Matilda and Carl Pfeiffer Museum and Study Center, which is located up on Schoolhouse Hill here in Piggott, just adjacent to the Hemingway Pfeiffer Museum. That activities will be going on throughout the afternoon. They won't have any house tours that day, but they will have a lot of activities. They have the Venture Crew 248 from up around the Cape Girardeau, Missouri area that will be coming in to do the Native American dancing once again. This is the 10th annual event, and that has been a very popular offering. We also have Dub Lyerly, who's an expert on Indian artifacts, Native American artifacts. He'll be there to take a look at anything that you'd like to bring by and get an opinion on. And we also expect to have some flint knappers there. Not really sure who's going to be there, but usually Dr. Trent Lamb will be on hand. A couple of other folks will be there demonstrating the ancient art of flint knapping. It's very interesting, and if you've never studied that, it is an interesting thing, and we encourage you to make plans to attend that. We also will be updating you on the soon-to-be-open Casey's General Store up at the light. Work has been coming along at an amazing pace, and they have set the date for the open. Let's take a look at how it looks today. And in the next edition, we'll have the complete update on when they'll be opening that. They have set the date. It's coming up in a little over a week, but we'll have all the information in the September 11th edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. We encourage you to pick up a copy of that. We also have information, as I said, on the fair, on the Native American Day, and we'll also be updating some of the other things that have been going on around the region. We also took a moment to stop down at the other construction project that's going on East Main Street here in Piggott, where the First National Bank building is going up at a pretty good rate. They've started to put brick on that. We stopped by a little earlier and took a look at some of that, and share that with you now. And again, we'll try to keep you on top of all those construction projects. And again, pick up a copy of the September 11th edition, and it will have all the details and the hard date on when the Casey's General Store will be opening. We'd also like to talk a little bit about sports. Of course, the Rector Hall of Fame, they inducted the class of 2013 as part of their Labor Day festivities. All the information on that is in this edition, the September 4th edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. Now, next week, we'll have all the details on the Piggott Mohawk season opener. Tonight, they'll be making their way all the way over to Yellville. They'll take on the Yellville Summit Panthers in non-conference action this evening. We'll have the complete report on that in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. Also, the Junior Mohawks will be getting their season underway next week on the road at Westside. The Cougar JV team will be getting underway the following week. We'll also have an update on the Cougar Junior team as they'll be getting their season underway as well. We also have an update on the Lady Mohawk volleyball team. They got a conference win last night. We'll have the information on that. Also an update on the Mohawk golf team. Coach Alan Rabjohn getting us some results, and Ashley Vaughn still doing a great job as the only member of the girls team. And also Noah May was low medalist at the most recent meet. Congratulations to them. We'll have the details on that. Also the tennis team, they've gotten into full swing. Coach Paul Seagraves getting us some results on that, and we'll have details on their first couple of matches as well coming up in the September 11th edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. Still copies of the Piggott Community Guide out there for your consumption. I encourage you to pick up a copy if you haven't gotten that yet. A little bit of history on Mohawk sports and some of the teams, facilities, and so forth that have made up the history of Mohawk sports. And we encourage you to pick that up if you get a chance. The Rector Community Guide is also out now, and they also, Ryan Rogers features a lot of stories on some of the great teams of Rector and Clay County Central sports history, and that's available to you as well. Stop by either one of the paper offices in Rector or Piggott, pick up a copy of that when you get the opportunity. We'd also like to encourage you to pick up a copy of the Delta Voice. It's absolutely free. It's on newsstands all up and down the region, from way down around Truman to up around Chaffee and so forth, up around Dexter. You can pick up a copy of the Delta Voice, find out how you can sign up to possibly win $300 cash, no strings attached, and all you have to do is pick up a copy of the Delta Voice to find out more details about that. Well, again, we'd like to encourage everyone to make plans to visit the Clay County Fair. We'll take a little look around as we leave and give you an idea about what a great job that the Fair Association, the volunteers, and all the other folks have done on getting the fairgrounds ready for the upcoming event. It's a bit of a milestone if you know your Piggott history, and I've had an opportunity to study a lot of that. This will mark the 70th year, I believe it is. No, make that 60th year. 60th year that the fair has been held at this location. The very first fair that was held at this property was in the fall of 1953 as they moved from up around where the picnic grounds are now. They moved down to here to have the fair at that time, started building what you have now, and this is a great facility. They picked this up. It was formerly a farm. Bought this, and of course it's right on the edge of Piggott, as the city limits is actually North Street. This is out in the county per se, but again, that was an interesting tidbit that they will mark the 60th time that the fair has been held at this location with the 2013 edition. Well, with that, we wrap up another edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat Weekly Web Update, brought to you by the good folks at Piggott State Bank. We always appreciate your comments. Got a nice note recently from Mr. Harrell out in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and we appreciate your feedback. We'll have an email address up at the end of the webcast, and you can send us your comments, your compliments, complaints, and suggestions. We always like to hear from you. And again, until next time, for Piggott State Bank and all of us here at cctimesdemocrat.com and the Clay County Times-Democrat, I'm Tim Blair reporting.